So many people are spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on courses to learn the skills to publish with Amazon KDP, but it really doesn't need to be that way. So in this video, I'm going to show you those skills and techniques to get you going and to get you started with publishing. Now, my background is I started publishing in 2019. I'm now the founder of Global Self-Publishing. I do have about 12 courses, but this one is completely free because I want to get you started with the process. Now, it is about 2 hours in length. You may choose to watch this video in its entirety, or you might choose to actually download the course and watch it via the Thinkific platform, which I've also got the course uploaded onto. I'll provide all the links in the description below. You can go to my website, globalselfpublishing.com, and that will have all the information that you need. So I really hope that you enjoy this full tutorial of publishing with Amazon KDP, and there's even some information about publishing wider to Ingram Spark. So thanks so much. I hope you enjoy it. Give me the thumbs up and comment if you like this video. Hello and welcome. My name is Romney, and thank you so much for joining this course on how to fast track your publishing with Amazon KDP. Now, I've been a publisher with Amazon KDP for 4 years now, and I've sold in excess of 200,000 copies of books, but I've also got my books on other platforms, which I'd love to be able to share with you those experiences in this course as well. Now, as I mentioned, it is a fast track course. I want to try and get through this information in less than an hour and a half. Now, what you need to remember is that there's going to be steps here where you might need to take your own initiative, and importantly, you need to take action on these steps. Without action, nothing will happen, and it's one of the key reasons why people don't succeed on Amazon is because they're inactive. They get to a point in time where they just don't take that action and those steps necessary. One of the other key things is that I'll be mentioning different software platforms and different Chrome extensions that I personally use. Now, I'll be making a recommendation for you to get these software programs. Now, this course has been made on a budget, so I want to make sure that it's affordable for you. But if you do want to invest for the long term in publishing, you do need to invest in tools that are going to help you to fast track that process. You're welcome to go down the slow lane, and you can do things manually. The software that I recommend helps fast track this process exponentially by 10 times. And if you do want to get to the endpoint quicker, you need to invest in both your knowledge and experience, but also in the software that you're using. Let me quickly cover off what we're going to be looking at for this course, and I need to keep this a bit shorter so we can get into lesson number 1. Section 1 is the course welcome, which we're doing right now. Section 2, getting started. Then we move on to niche and keyword research, titles and subtitles, interior creation, book cover creation, book descriptions, KDP book categories, the upload process and pricing for your books, then the launch and advertising of your books, avoiding key mistakes that people make, book expansion into other print-on-demand services, then key action steps, and then resources to download. Now, you'll also have the opportunity of participating in 20 lessons overall. There'll be the templates and resources you can download, but also I'm wanting to speed up this process so the timeline will be fairly short, trying to keep it to an hour and a half. Actionable steps to take immediately, and then I'm making it affordable but jam-packed with info. So I'm keen to get started now. Let's get into this Fast Track KDP course, and you can get publishing faster than ever before. Let's get into it now. I want to use this lesson to discuss the business model of KDP, or Kindle Direct Publishing. So what is KDP? Well, they are a platform which allows you to create and publish books using a print-on-demand service, or a POD. So print-on-demand means that your books aren't sitting in bulk anywhere. As soon as a customer orders your book is printed pretty much on that day or the next day, and then is shipped out to the customer. If they order 4 of them, then 4 copies are printed. But you don't have any books that are sitting on a factory floor waiting for an order to come through before they're sent off. They hold the digital asset, being your files, and then once it's ordered, they are put through the printer and that book is printed. They also take care of the distribution. So once the book is printed, then they will take care of the distribution and the mail out to that customer. They also take care of the payments through the customer, the logistics, customer service. So if there's any returns required, then they take care of that. The great thing is, if a customer purchases your book but returns it, you're not out of pocket. So that's the great thing. So a creator or an author receives a royalty payment after the above costs are factored in. So therefore, if you were selling a book for $14, but the printing and distribution costs from Amazon add up to maybe $10, then once that's all taken consideration and Amazon take their small percentage of the profit of the book, you receive your royalty. So it might end up being $4 from a sale price of that book of $14. So what are the popular forms of books? Well, there are no content books like blank journals or notebooks. Low content being colouring books, workbooks, logbooks. Mid content books which could almost be classified in the low content, but they're children's books and how-to guides. Then we have our high content books, which are books of maybe over 10,000 words. Now I've created books across all these categories. I've created or published 7 high content books, many mid-content books like children's books, quite a few low-content books, and initially when I first started, no-content books. No-content books have a small barrier of entry, so most people will start off with these, and then as you get to high content, the number of people that can create a 10,000 word book plus does start to reduce, but there are ways and means of doing that, and it's an area of publishing that I will expand on at another time, but we will touch on it during this course. So what's the process? Well, you complete your niche selection or niche research, then you go through the book creation process. Once it's ready, you upload it with the file types to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, then you do the marketing, and hopefully you get some great sales and reviews, and you start to get into the Amazon algorithm, and when a customer searches for your book, it comes up and you get more and more sales. And that's what I love about this business. It has global opportunity to scale. You can have one book which you can then convert to a paperback, a hardback, an ebook, and an audio book, depending on the type of book. And then you can convert that same book into multiple languages and sell it across the world, across multiple platforms, and not just Amazon KDP. So it has scalability. And the great thing is, the more books you create or high quality books that sell, the more of a passive income stream you create. So that's an overview of the Kindle Direct Publishing business model, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how it all works. Getting started with Amazon KDP. The first thing that I would recommend you do is to actually create an account. So if you go to Google and just do KDP sign up, then you'll be able to get to this link. Otherwise, just type this link into your browser and you'll be able to get there straight away. The page you will find that will come up is this one. And what you'll need to do is to add your name, email address, password, enter it again, and create your KDP account. The process is quite simple and straightforward. Just make sure you complete all the details, including tax and information that will help ensure that you're protecting your account and the payments that will go through. You'll need to enter bank account details to ensure that the money, if you earn money through your royalties, goes to the correct account. There are some countries that are excluded from creating an Amazon KDP account. You can Google those countries and find out if you're eligible, but the majority of countries are permitted to create a KDP account. I would start that process right now before you move forward any further. Let's get started with some software recommendations. Now with software, investing in the right software will be the difference between fast lane or slow lane publishing. The efficiency or time wasting with your publishing, and selling books that are needed or publishing books that never sell. I can't stress enough the importance of buying the right software and considering it more as an investment with your long-term publishing journey. because not having software really does slow you down. And as I mentioned, it makes the process so much more efficient, and you're going to be creating books that are needed by the customer, not publishing books that never ever sell. Now, there are some key software publishing platforms that I recommend. Now, you don't have to purchase them, but it is highly recommended. I can't stress that enough, because these software platforms have been tried and tested. I've been using them for 4 years, and although there's an initial upfront payment with a couple of these, they do have lifetime access. So once you've paid it, it's an expense that you should absolutely invest in, but for the long-term journey of publishing, it's so well worth it. So let's look at the first one, KDSPY. So it's used for niche research, and it helps you to determine the profitability of your niche before you begin to create your books. So by selecting the wrong niche, and your chances of success are very slim. So it's a one-time payment of $69 for that lifetime access. And what I'm also rolling into this is to give you the opportunity of getting a free course. So I've got a $99 course that you can get for free by using my link in the description below to purchase KDSPY. So really, you're getting a $69 software product, but a $99 free course. So you're actually in front. So let me show you a bit about KDSPY and about that bonus course as well. So if I'm on Amazon, I've got KDSPY, which I've purchased, which comes a little Chrome extension up here. And what it helps me to do is to determine the profitability. So if I'm doing a search, just say I'm wanting to write about a beach book, and it's a kid's beach book. So beach. So if I've got, even if we go to beach coloring book for kids. So if we go onto that one, what it'll end up doing is showing me the results. So if I go up here and I'll wait for KDSPY to load, what KDSPY will do will provide the average sales rank and the average monthly revenue. Now, what this will also determine for us is the popularity potential and the competition involved. So it's very, very competitive. So I wouldn't even consider going into this niche right now. Now, if you also did a filter here, you can look at the sales rank. So you do have a mermaid coloring book, but it does have nearly 5,000 reviews. So we're not going to be able to compete with something like that. But let's change things up a little bit. If we go back and we did, and we go enter, it's got 10,000 results. But if we have a look at KDSPY, we'll find out whether those keywords are profitable. So we can see the average sales rank here at the moment. We wait for this to load up. What we need to do is to get rid of what they call the outliners. So as we wait for this to load, it looks like the competition's quite high. It might reduce. Again, it's a good opportunity for us to look further into seeing whether it's worthwhile getting into this. Again, it's a great way of determining the competition is way too high. Let me try and find one though, a keyword or a niche that doesn't have the competition that we can really focus on. So if we wrote, it's writing. So I'll even plain, let's try airplane books for kids. Let's have a look at this one. So it's 10,000 results still, but what does KDSPY tell us? We wait for the results to come up again, and let's see whether the average sales rank is going to be much better. So we wait for these to load up, and we can see the competition is still high. If we get rid of a couple of these, and then we do sales rank, we might keep that one, but get rid of that one. We can see the sales is very, very good. Competition is still very high, very strong, but it's probably more in an area that we can compete. So there's only 57 reviews on this one, 10,748. So that's a first paper airplane book and design. If we look at this one, The Littlest Airplane, that's a kid's book, 65 reviews, monthly income of $2,000, average sales rank of 38,000. So we can actually see all different information here about the title, about the book. This one will actually take us to the book to have a closer look at it. So you can actually track the sales rank here. So if we go back to results and we look at our tracking, so I'm going to go to books, book tracking. I've got one of my books here. So let's have a look at paperback. I'm going to go to Archie the Bear Becomes a Big Brother. Let's have a look at the results so far. You can see current sales rank, the price, and you can see how it's been tracking. So at some stage it's been up to around about 45,000. Another 65,000. It's dropped recently, but there are a few of these times where it does that. So you can see how it's been tracking by doing that. But what this allows you to do is gives you instant information about your books that you're wanting to create and these niches. And if you were to try and go through and write down all these results, try and find out what the average sales rank was, what the book prices were, because that'll tell you the same information as well about the price of each of the book, the monthly sales, estimated revenue, the number of reviews. If you were trying to do that manually, it would take you forever. So KDSPY will save you a significant amount of time with your niche research and also provide some amazing information. So well worth the $69 to purchase for KDSPY. So that is the first software that I would recommend that you get if you're publishing. And remember, if you're publishing often, then it might be worth to purchase that software, and then you get my $99 course for free. So you'll get all of these lessons about exactly the best way to look at the niche research absolutely free. So definitely consider that. Check out the description below for more details about that. Continuing on with our software recommendations, the next one that I definitely recommend is Publisher Rocket. It's probably the more well-known of the software platforms. Again, I've been using Publisher Rocket for 4 years, and it is used specifically for keyword research, categories, Amazon advertising keywords, and niche trends. But it also definitely helps out with niche research as well. Accessibility-wise, you just have that one lifetime payment of $97, and you continue to get free upgrades as the platform and software improves. So with the keyword research and category research, it does go into a lot of depth with this. So let me give you a quick overview of the software, and it is definitely something that I recommend you looking into. Again, you can see the link in the description below. Once you download Publisher Rocket, you are given this dashboard right here. So we've got keyword research, competitor analyzer, category search, keywords for Amazon ads or AMS, and you've also got some tutorials. Let's just have a quick look at keyword search. So if we were wanting to create our books about a beach theme and we can also choose Kindle or Audible. So if you're doing those sort of books, you can do research there. Go get them Rocket. Then this will provide you with a whole list of keywords that are popular within those keywords. So if we click on the magnifying glass, we go down here, clicking all these. Again, this will take you hours to get all this data. So what we're looking for, we've got a green light system here. So anything with green is low competition. Then we've got moderate competition. When it goes red, then obviously it's high competition. You've got Amazon searches. So we're looking for green searches as well. We can see there's not enough searches in this category. So the holiday at Folly Beach, I'm not sure why that's coming up, or guest book for vacation home beach, you just probably wouldn't go into that. There's not enough research. But if we'll look into this one here, so it's moderately competitive beach books for women, which you may not have thought about. Very high monthly earnings, a lot of big searches. Let's now look into this a little bit more in depth. So what I'd probably do is write the beach books for women down. Therefore, we can look at it a bit more further, and we can do an analysis on it. And this will actually take us to more data and trends. It'll actually give us a look at the different books that are currently trending in this particular category. So you can have a look at those. You can load more. You can see the age of the book. So that's the number of days it's been published for. The ABSR, which is the ranking, the number of pages of the book, and the keyword is keyword in that particular title for beach books for women. And then what we can do is we can check out the actual, so we go to categories, so we can actually see the different categories that are here. Then we can do insights. So if we looked at, for example, books romance, you can look at the insights and you can see it's got a slight downward trend. So you probably wouldn't go into that. Let's get right out of here. We're going to go back to search again. Let's have a look at another one with low competition. So look at this one here. So we'll look at the Beach House guest book. Let's find out what books are trending in this, because you may not have thought about publishing in this area. We're going to look further into this, look at the books that are in there. We can see the age of the books. We can see the daily sales as well. So the sales are quite low. So I probably wouldn't necessarily go into that, although if you had a book that is generating over $1,000 a month, that's pretty good. So you can look at further into those. Let's have a look at another search here. If we just did, we'll do 4, and I normally always end in 4 because it then opens up the results for a bit wider interpretation. So we can go through these. We can look at the different books that are trending there. So that's the competition analyzer, and we can see the daily sales. I'm going to look at the monthly sales of this one. $56,000. Wouldn't it be nice to have a book that generates $56,000? But we go to keyword search and we'll do the search there as well. It's going to be probably highly competitive. 4, and we go get 'em rocket. We can do a quick search of these. We can find out the competitive score. So letter tracing book, that's a lot of search results, but very competitive. You can see the red here. It's trying to find that middle ground. So 67, still fairly competitive. What about letter tracing book for children? We can even go a little bit different. We can try one other one. So let's just see if this is going to produce some different results. So we go down here and we can click all of these and we can see the different results here. Not many searches are happening there. But what you want to do is to start to look at a lot of different books. I wouldn't be going probably for letter tracing books anymore. I think the market's too saturated. But you could find one that may be not saturated. So what we do is just keep clicking these, having a bit of a look to see. So this one's only got one. So letter tracing workbook dinosaur ABC. Very low competition, but no one's searching for it. So why would you go into it? So we're looking for a green and a green. Green and green results are fantastic. You don't get them too often, but when you do, they're the ones that you need to get onto. I can show you the competition analyzer, which we did before. We can do a category search. So this will actually go through all the different categories. You can find out if there's a category that has books that might be starting to trend up. So let's have a look at unemployment insights. Growth is going down. You can see that. That's incredible how the number of searches has dropped considerably. So that's the power of this. Why would you publish in that category if you can see that it's been dropping so significantly? And that's why you need the power of software to give you this information. So if we keep going down here further, let's look at industry, sports and entertainment insights. It's on the upward trend, 26 month. You can see all that. You can see the related categories. You can see the different ones that's here. So the sales number 10. So if you sold 2 books in this area right here, you'd be in the top 10. You'd need to sell 14 to get into the bestsellers rank or to number 1. There's 86% of books in this category are publishers, and Kindle Unlimited 12%. It's just a great tool, and you can also look at these trends here, and what we can also do is look at different keywords that you can grab. Again, ideas for books. So if we did sports biomechanics as just picking one randomly, we go to keyword search. We do a search here. We do sports biomechanics. We have a bit of a look. We do a search here. Find out the competitive scores. There's very little books that are selling there, so I probably wouldn't go into that. It's only earning $60. Again, you're eliminating books that you shouldn't be publishing in. And that's the beauty of this software. You can get so much information from it. There's also a way to do keywords for Amazon marketing as well. That's a quick summary of Publisher Rocket. I would definitely recommend you look into it, and it will give you such an advantage to anyone that doesn't use this software. It provides insights into great keywords to use in your book titles, niches you can go into, competition, categories, Amazon keywords for your ads, but also provides plenty of tutorials as well if you want to look further into using Publisher Rocket and how to find keywords and everything in between. Continuing with our theme of software recommendations, the next one is Canva. So Canva is used for your book covers, your manuscripts, your marketing, and advertising. So it is on a subscription plan. So you can get a free account with Canva. You do have limited tools that you can use on the free plan. I've upgraded to Canva Pro, and it starts at $12 US per month. But it has just been such a massive game changer for my business. So rather than having to outsource various different design elements, such as the marketing and advertising, book covers, and even formatting, I can do it all within Canva. So overall, you do save a significant amount of money. Let me quickly just jump onto Canva and I can show you how Canva works and the power of Canva, and then you can make a call to see whether that is a software tool you'd want to use, but I really just don't know how you could do publishing without it. Again, check out the description below. Got the link for the details of how to join. So it just makes sense to have a design tool, particularly when books are used for design. We just want to make sure we get the right professional look happening with all of our books. So I'm just on my account now. You can see the number of different things that I'm using for or using Canva for with YouTube videos. We've got different publications I've got there, review templates. So if we go to create a design, you can do a YouTube thumbnail, you can do a whole lot of different things. Do a book cover. So if we go custom design and we wanted to do an 8 by, actually we need to make sure it's inches, I keep forgetting that. And we go create new design, then this will give us the template straight up for the book. We can also go to different designs, we can find out what they are, we can do a template here. So if we had beach, then it would give us some different ideas for book cover design. What you need to make sure you do, and I'll do a tutorial about book cover design using Canva later, is you need to make sure all the elements that you use you're interchanging and changing around. You can't just create a book cover and make it look like this. You have to make changes, okay? That's one of the key things about the terms of use of Canva. Just make sure you change them around. But as you can see, it's just so easy to use, and you can even grab, so what we might do is grab some elements of this one. So we might grab that one and we can put it up there. Get rid of that one there. We can put that there. We can go down. We can grab this element here. We can put that there. We can change things around, whatever you want to. It is just such an amazing tool that you can use for your book cover design. You can see all the different things that they provide with Canva. It is sensational. And I'll show you the way that I do manuscripts and book cover design using Canva later. But it is one of the best tools I've ever used for cover design or even manuscripts, and I just use it so often for so many elements of my business. So that is Canva. Check out the description below and you can find out more about this design software tool. The first one is called AMZ Extension Expander, and you'll see the little emblem there, and the other one is DS Amazon Quick View, and that will give you the BSR, which is the book ranking on Amazon. I'm going to very quickly show you where these are, but just go to Chrome extensions and please download these two because you'll be utilizing those when we do our niche research later on. So the two extensions, we've got the AMZ Suggestion Expander here, and the DS Amazon Quick View right here. So DS Amazon Quick View will give you your rankings and the ASN number right here. You can see how they're all listed right here. Without that Chrome extension, they don't show up, and you've actually got to go into the actual book. So if we were to go into this one here, you'd actually have to go into the book, scroll down, and then have a look at the number right there. Whereas the Chrome extension gives you the information straight up, so you don't need to worry about that. You can see the rank is loading up right now. Now the last one was the suggestion expander. So if we were up here and we were typing for our beach books and you can see all the different ones that come up when you start typing these words, and you can see Beach Books for Children, Beach Books 2024, Beach Books bestsellers, new releases. These are what people are typing in addition to the main keywords that people are typing for on Amazon. So it's worthwhile getting this extension as well to see what people need. So it's a free download too. So make sure you download those 2 Chrome extensions. Go back, check out those software products that I recommend. Definitely KDSPY, Publisher Rocket, and Canva as a starting point. Then BookBolt if you want to use that for your book cover formatting, but you can use Canva for it. It just takes a little bit longer to do. And welcome to this lesson on niche research for Amazon KDP. It will be one of the lessons where I spend a little bit more time on because it's just so important. When we're looking for a niche, it's an area that people are interested in purchasing a book from. And we can sub-niche down to get a topic. And we almost need to get micro niches. So what will our book be about? That's the main area of interest for us with niching down and finding a particular niche. So when we go onto Amazon KDP, you'll find that they offer a number of different departments or categories. One category might be children's books, but under children's books, there's always different sub-niches. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So when we look at books, you can see if we go to business and money, you click there, and then it'll bring us all these different sub-niches under business and money. So there'd be about another 15 different sub-niches. We go back to books and we might choose science and math. We go there and this brings up another roughly 12, 14 different sub-niches under science and math. So you can see this is where it's important to try and niche down in a particular category and don't just get the first thing. So if we go to chemistry, this will provide another set of sub-niches under chemistry itself. So you keep going down as far as you can to sub-niche, as far down as you can to get as close a niche as you can. What we want to do is go a mile deep and a centimetre wide or an inch wide. So the value of finding a high need but low competition niche is just really important. We need to make sure that we're doing what we can to get that information. Because if your niche is too broad, if you just went under chemistry without going even further down and sub-niching down, your book will be very, very hard to find. You'll be one amongst thousands and thousands, if not millions. So what do we actually look for? What's a measurement that we can use to judge the performance of our book? Well, it is called a BSR. So when we go back to Amazon in a moment, you'll see through our Chrome extension of DS Amazon Quick View that we'll see this number here. And that is a representation of where that book sits across all the millions of books on Amazon. This book sits at 125 ranking out of all the millions. So number 1 ranking being the best, and then some of your books, if you create them, might be in the millions, and that means that it's ranked in the millions of all the books that are on Amazon. So we want to make sure we can try and get our BSR under 100, which is great. And that comes with getting reviews, with getting sales, and making sure that you have a high quality book. Let me quickly show you where the BSR is when you go to Amazon and you've got the DS Amazon Quick View hooked in as a Chrome extension. So here's the number right here, 66,000, 82,000 BSR, 95. I've also got the Helium 10 extension on, and this will also show the different numbers for these books, but I might actually go and turn that off just so it doesn't get confusing. So I've turned off the Helium 10 extension just so it's not confusing, but you can see number 5 here. This is in new releases in books, that's where it's ranked. And if you hover over the top around here, you can also get some extended data and information. But as we scroll down here, you can see the BSR numbers, 54, then we go down to 96, 104. And that's where those books are actually ranked. And we do need to keep an eye on that information. It'll give us a great insight of where these books are actually ranked. Now, the other program or software that I'll use during my niche research in a moment, which I'll show you, is Publisher Rocket. So you'll see a combination of Publisher Rocket and KDSPY being used at the same time for my niche research. You could just use KDSPY by itself, but you'll see that in combination, both Publisher Rocket and KDSPY are the best. But let's get into how I do niche research as an example and a tutorial. The first thing I always do when I'm doing my niche research is to go into incognito mode, meaning that none of my search is going to be tracked because I don't want that to obscure other searches that I've been conducting. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using two different tools here. I'm going to be using Publisher Rocket, which is this one right here, and you can purchase Publisher Rocket using my link. And I also use KDSPY, which I'll bring up once we're into the process. So let's get into what we're looking at right now. So firstly, I'll jump onto the bestsellers of Amazon KDP, and I want to be searching for various different topics that might be trending at the current time. So that could be a starting point, but what I normally do is just run my eyes over these books, see if there's anything currently trending, and then I can start to look at the different categories. So at the moment we're going through here, and I'm just sort of thinking Grow Rich. I've seen, there was another financial one, The Psychology of Money. The number one bestseller is Atomic Habits, so people are looking at different habits and goals they're doing. But let's break into a different area altogether. Art and photography. These could be low content books. There might be high content books, but it's important to go through this process. So what I'm looking for are a couple of things that are standing out. So if I go down here, I'm looking at vision boards. So goal setting is obviously very clear at the moment. We've got two vision boards here. We've got two different people that are doing it, ranked 264 and 270. See if there's anything else like that. We're scrolling through. Okay, so I'm just looking at here. Nothing really that's standing out at this point in time. So what I need to do is go down a little bit further within the niche. So let's go drawing. This might be our topic for today. What we're looking for are the different rankings of the books, and also we might even go down a bit closer or a bit more specific. So let's go figure drawing. So we're really niching down. Again, under figure drawing, we need to look at the books that are currently trending. So we can go down here, look at these kinds of books. We can also identify, using Publisher Rocket, the different categories that we're looking at. How to draw anemone. I may not get the pronunciation right of these. 1007 drawings to sketch in 5 minutes. That might be an interesting one. Let's see a little bit more about this book and when it was published and some of the details. So December 12, 2022, so it's been around for just over a year. We can see inside it here. We scroll down, they've done a really good description. Let's look at some of the feedback. They've done good A+ content. They're showing the steps. Ranked at 10,000. This is a video. So this is a great way of identifying if you can actually get into this niche or not. We keep scrolling down. You can see some of the illustrations and pictures that people have done as part of reviews. So you can see those. There we go. So we're looking at books that we can actually complete ourselves. You can see the different reviews here, all mostly are very, very positive, which is a great result. And you can see what they're doing there. So is this something that we can get into ourselves? So what we do is scroll back up and let's go learn how to draw. And we're going to put that into Publisher Rocket. So we're going to go keyword research. Let's see how popular this is within books. So we use Publisher Rocket, learn how to draw. So what we're going to do is go through these different ones here, learn how to draw for adults, learn how to draw for kids, different age groups, which is important to identify. So we go through, we click these ones. Then what we're looking at is a competitive score. Anything close to 100 is getting very, very competitive. We're looking for something that is probably around about 50 or less if possible. And we're also looking at the estimated Amazon searches. So we're trying to get a bit of a combination. And we can look here, learn how to draw for kids 9 to 12. It's getting a lot of Amazon searches. It's fairly popular or moderately competitive. Good earnings. And number of pages, 136 on average. If we go down a bit further, we can see some other things here as well. So learn how to draw a cat. What other ones have we got here? Let's identify this one here. Learn how to draw for kids 9 to 12. So we click here and we have a look at the different categories and different books. Learn how to draw cool stuff. Learn how to draw the animals. We can find out how long they've been there for. So this is the amount of days. This one's relatively young. That's the one we just saw before. So 392 days. You can see it's bringing good monthly sales, and we can check it out, which we did before. And we can also look at the categories. So we can see these different categories, figure drawing, and we can see the insights. So let's have a look at the insights that are here as part of this book. We can see it's got good growth of 56 sales per month. So it's on the upward trajectory. We can see sales of 101. Doesn't really give us much else information here. So if we go back again to serial-related categories, and what we're going to do here is also look at the keywords. So we can go back and we'll just go back into this one again. And what I want to do is actually look at the keywords. So this is the keywords for the category. These keywords are related to the category and may help with placement based on Rocket's analysis. Sometimes book titles or author names may find their way into this list. Rocket does its best to remove them. So you can see the different keywords, and you could use those within your Amazon ads or in your back-end keywords when you're loading the book to Amazon KDP. So very handy. So you can have a look at these. Sales number 1 is 101 sales. Sales number 10 in the ranking of that category is 11. You can see 53 publishers publish in this area. We can look at different books here and how long they've been around for. How to draw everything. Learn to sketch 175 animals. So they seem to be quite popular. If you look at the ABSR or the ABSN, that's A277, 278 days. Some of these books are doing really, really well. How to Draw Everything, 32,000. That is unbelievable. So you can see the different categories this book's under. It's under drawing, which would be quite competitive because you'd need to get 167 sales to get to that. So maybe not what you want to do, but again, let's look at the insights. It's going down. So we want to go back and we want to have a look at different coloring books if we wanted to. Let's go to Insights. Down on that one as well. Let's have a look at, we've got animals, we've got cartooning. So let's look at the insights here. Category growth of 11. So we've been able to pick up a bit of information from this so far. What we want to do is learn how to draw fun and easy. And what we would like to try and do is see if this is a book that we can get into But what we're going to do is copy that. I want to go back to Amazon and I want to put that into the search right here. And let's see how many other books are in here. So it's got 5,000 results, which is okay. This is where I use KDSPY. I want to find out if it's an area that I can compete in. So we go to KDSPY right here. And this will load up KDSPY Pro and it will provide the sales rank. The average sales rank, we can remove some if what we call their outliners. So you can see the books here, any like the top three, or the highest ranked three we remove. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. So these are the 3 highest ranked books, meaning they might be just poor quality books and not selling. Average sales rank is now 153. So anything about 150,000 or thereabouts is a good book to pursue. What we're also looking at, we want to see the reviews. So we can compete with books maybe with about 150 reviews. So you click on there, and what we're looking for are books ranked at about 150,000 or less with about 150 reviews or less. So I've got 1 here, 2, and that's probably about it. So it's fairly high in competition. So I'm not sure if I would consider going into that, but it could be one if you wanted to look a bit further. Let's just do a quick another analysis of some other books that we can look into potentially in this area. So I'm going to scroll down here. Let's have a look at these rankings. How to draw. So it's pretty high. The cover's not great. How to draw animals. So that might be another one. Let's put that in there. So we go back up to here, because this might be more niche. How to draw animals. So you might want to do how to draw animals for kids, or you can even break it down to an age group. Let's do how to draw animals for kids. So we've got 10,000 results. If we reduce that just to how to draw animals, it's how many results? 20,000. How to draw animals for kids, maybe 5 to 7. All right, 5,000 results still. So we look down here, you can see the different books. You can see their rankings. These are quite simple, it looks like, to organize and do. So let's have a look at KDSPY again, and we could even copy that and put it into Publisher Rocket as well. So let's go to KDSPY, how to draw animals for kids. What we're doing now, we'll get rid of those outliners. So that one, and maybe, I think that's the next highest. Average sales rank now 35,048, so that's much better. But let's look at the reviews. We want to see if there's any books with 150 reviews or less. So we'll just say from here, and we'll see whether this is an area we can compete in. So we'll include that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 books with 150 reviews or less that we know we can compete with, because trying to compete with books with 4,000 reviews is going to be very, very challenging. But if there's 150 reviews or less, we can compete, and the rankings are very, very good. Estimated monthly sales, you can see the monthly sales there. The length of the book you can see as well. So what I would do, I would use that main keyword. I've used KDSPY to identify if it's worth investigating that niche more. Then what I could also do is copy that, go back to Publisher Rocket, and I'm going to go to keyword search, and I'm going to do a new search here. Let's plug that one in, go get 'em Rocket, and let's see whether this brings up something and identifies. So 57, that's pretty good. Estimated monthly searches, 2,850. We can do our research here, and we can find out what books we would be competing with. We can investigate those. We can do the look inside. You can find out what books are doing really well. Look at their covers. Look at the colors they're using. Look at the different illustrations they're using. Look at the description. What are they using to attract customers? We can see we can see the different categories. So if we go to this one right here, we can look at the categories that they're in. So it's pretty competitive category. If we go to the Insights tool, you can see it's down a little bit, but if we go back one more, let's go back here. Let's go to this one here. It might be a similar one. I'm just having a look. This is the youngest of the books. So let's have a look at this one. And we're going to go to Insights for drawing, music and photography, art, drawing. I may have covered this before, up 36 sales per month. So that would be a good category to get into. And we can look at these different categories, and when they say selectable, Amazon allows you to place your book directly into this categories of placement. So you can have a look at the different selectable categories. These ones are what they call ghost categories. But if you select this one here, crafts for children. So let's do the Insights tool here. It's gone down a fair bit, but it still could be a category you'd like to get into. Let's have a look at another one. Let's go this one right here, Insights. That's pretty steady as well. So I think that could be a great little keyword, a niche to get into. If you're happy to look at different books, we can go and check it out. We can have a look at how the book's been put together. You can look inside the book. It all looks pretty basic. You could do that using a software platform like Canva. You can see the additional details, the page numbers. They've used A+ content there. And you can also see it's ranked at 6,860. It's got some positive, or it's got some videos that have been uploaded here. So you can have a look and see how the book's put together. And you can also see what the reviews are like, and if there's ways that you can improve the quality of book. That's a great little insight into the process I take to investigate if a book is going to be suitable for me to pursue, and to look at different categories to see what category would be best to place my book. So firstly, your title serves two key purposes. The first one is your SEO, or your search engine optimization, meaning that when people are searching for those terms within your title or the content that you're creating, you want your book to be ranked quite high, or the best it can be. On page 1 is ideal. Number 2, you're attracting the customer to your particular kind of book. And that's where title and subtitle keywords become really important, because it's what customers are looking for. So ultimately, your goal is to have your book appear when popular search terms are typed into the search bar of Amazon. And you use your keywords from your niche research in your title, your subtitle, and the remaining words that you can't fit into your title or subtitle are used in your 7 back-end keywords when you're uploading your book to KDP. So your 7 keywords will be other words that you'd really like to be ranked for as part of your book. I wanted to cover off as well, as part of this lesson, the do's and the do nots. So do this. Use keywords that make sense and relate directly to your book. There's no point creating titles where there's confusion about what your book is. And if you've got a very high profile, if you're an actor, or you're in the media, or you've got a big social media presence, then you could potentially create titles that are a little bit different. But because we're self-publishers, we need to really focus on those keywords. So make sure you use the auto suggestions to help craft your title from Amazon, and I'll show you some examples soon. And each word in your title should be linked to its optimization. So you need to think about what words within your title would you like to be ranked for, so that when customers are typing that into the search bar, your book would come up on page 1, maybe page 2. So do not do this though. Keyword stuff. And what I mean by including random keywords in your title or your subtitle just because you want to try and get the keywords in, it needs to make sense. It needs to flow. Don't use other brands or author names, and worse still, do not infringe on trademark terms. So do those searches to make sure you're not impacting any trademarks, because it's a quick way to get your account terminated, or there could be legal ramifications for doing that. So titles are going to be very important for you, and subtitles are as important. But then if you can't find the words within your title or subtitle that make sense from your research, just make sure you put them in your 7 keywords that you want to be ranked for when you upload your book. So let's just go to a way of collecting your keywords and crafting your titles just to make sure that you're going to get the best title for your book. One of the last things I want to cover on creating your title and subtitle is the use of keywords and ensuring that you don't infringe on any trademarks. So there's a website called USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. It's important that you conduct a search trademark just to ensure that you're not infringing on any. So it is uspto.gov/trademarks/search. I'm going to go to that website right now and give you a little bit of an idea of how that works. So just say you wanted to do a search, you go to the uspto.gov website. What we're going to be doing is just doing a quick search. So what we need to do is go search trademarks. So we go here and we go trademark search system. Once we're in here, we can start typing the words that we were looking for when we're looking to see if we're infringing on any. So if we did a book that we want to call something to do with Fortnite series, so you can see how Fortnite is live and registered, so you wouldn't go anywhere near that. Same if you had a book and you wanted to call it Lego characters. So if we go search, and if we go down, you can see Lego that you just do not want to go into. You can see how it's covered many times. What happens if we did monster truck? So we go there and we have a look, and we can see word monster truck is actually registered here. So that's where you're going to be careful with the different sorts. So what we can do, we can look at it further and we can find the different things that we can actually publish under, or we shouldn't. So we can't do carry bags, tote bags, travel bags, suitcase packing organizers in the nature of packing cubes. That you cannot do. If we go down further, we can see there's ones that are also dead as well. So you could potentially look at making a book, but I would do some further research to have a look and see. If something came up like monster trucks and it's listed in a lot of different places, then I just wouldn't go near it. It's just something that I wouldn't do. Whereas if I went and did a book here, we'll call it Learn to Write in my title. Let's have a look here. There's nothing specifically that's learn to write. If you had learned to write the right way, then you wouldn't go near that. You can sort of see that it's providing writing training workshops for law students. So I wouldn't probably have that title, but learn to write by itself looks like it could be all right. Learn to write, so that's learn write. There's nothing about learn to write in here. Write to learn, write to learn. So that could be used. But what I want you to do is, if you're doing a title, put it in here. If you think it's too risky, don't do it. That's my main advice. But go to USPTO trademark search, check, and you just go to this little click here and see if you can actually write something. So let's just do dot marker. Dot markers is dead. Dot and dot markers. So you could use that in your book. But again, do a thorough research, because you just do not want to be caught out for a trademark that you shouldn't be going to. So anything that you know is a trademarked term. So hopefully this helps, and make sure you do your thorough research for trademark and infringement with your book titles. And welcome to this lesson where I want to introduce you to book interior and manuscripts for no, low and high content books. There is a different strategy that you use for each of these different kinds of books. So no content can be very easy to create yourself. You can use free software, you can create a free Canva account, you can download free templates, you can create a free notebook that could be uploaded to Amazon KDP. Very easy, but the barrier to entry is also easy, which means it's more competitive. Low content depends on the book that you're publishing. So it might be a coloring book. You might need to use AI technology or outsource illustrations for coloring books. So they can be easy to create, but there's a little bit more difficulty for those. Mid content can be more complicated, may require outsourcing components like a cover design, illustrations, and it does become a little bit more complicated but less competitive. And then you've got high content books. So they are time consuming. To create books of over 10,000 words up to, say, 100,000 word books or more, if you're writing those books yourself, it takes a long time because then you need to write, edit, get everything together. It can be a long process, but if you are able to develop those books and you are even outsourcing a high percentage of those elements, the reward for effort can be very high. And the book can also be converted into multiple formats: paperback, hardback, ebook, audiobook, multiple platforms like Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, Barnes & Noble. You can get your book out to a lot more places. Now, if we look at the course lessons in this course, you can apply most of them to publishing any of these forms of books. However, there's lots more content to come regarding the game-changing publishing of high-content books. So we're going to go to the next lesson. Keep in mind that if you are writing a high-content book, that I will be creating more content around that at a later date about how to create your structure of those books, how you put them together, how you can potentially outsource the writing component of it, a component of writing high content books. But for now, the next lesson is about creating a manuscript for no, low and mid content books. But remember, the majority of all these lessons you can still apply to creating high content books. Anyway, that's a lesson. Let's get ready for the next one. And welcome to this lesson about creating your book interiors. Now, it's important when we're creating our interiors that we look at different options that are available, including free interiors. So we might look at no content interiors, low content interior, and also considerations when creating your interior. We need to ensure that we produce quality interiors for our books. Now, the interior will be from pages 1 to 30 or 1 to 100, whatever that is. And there is a software that we can use to help build our interiors, and we can also use Canva as well. Let's get into the lesson right now. To create our interiors, we're going to use Canva. Now, if you haven't signed up to Canva, I'll leave the link in the description below, and you can use that to create a free account, or you can continue with a Canva Pro account. I'm going to sign in right now. So the first thing you need to do, really, before you create a manuscript, is determine what sort of manuscript you want to create. Now, for example purposes, I'm just going to pick a gratitude journal, which I know I can create. I've created a few before. And what I want to do is go through the process of how we ensure that it's sort of compliant in regards to what KDP need and what we need to do. So let's choose one, and we might as well go for a bestseller. Let's go for the 3-minute gratitude journal. We won't click on this because I don't want them to have to pay for it. So let's scroll down here, and we're going to actually check out a few things of the listing firstly. And that is going to be the size of the book, number of pages of the book, and what the interior looks like. So let's have a quick flick down here. So it is a 6x9, is 110 pages. And you can see the details here. 110 pages, but I might actually make ours a 7x10 inch. But before we do that, let's have a look inside the book and make sure that it's something that we can easily create. So we just wait for the look inside feature to appear. We click on this, and from memory, it's going to be quite easy. So we scroll down. They've got an introductory page here. They do have a get in touch with us page, and then it is just replicated. That's all it is. So let's make our own version and see if we can make it a little bit better than this. I can't believe it's a bestseller. However, it is what it is, and I think we can easily create something like this. So let's go into the next stage. So we want a 7x10. Now there's a few things that we need to do. We're going to be using Canva to create our design. However, we need to look at what the print options are as well. And I'm going to put these in the links for the description. So if you go to print options on KDP, these are the trim sizes. So depending on what size of book you want, you can choose any of these. So when you do go to load your book up to KDP, you have an idea of what sizes there are. 7x10 is the choice that we're going to be doing today. Now there are options for bleed and no bleed. So bleed, very quickly, is if your images are going to be stretching beyond what the normal area would be. But we're not going to include bleed. So we would make ours just 7 inches by 10 inches. And these are the individual pages I'm talking about. So I'll just push create new designs. There's a really good resource. It's through KDP, and you can actually create, or you can do the paperback file setup calculator. So what you need to do is download calculator. Then this will come up for you, and you can plug in what you want. So we're just going to be doing a black and white with black ink and white paper. We're doing, so you get a choice here as well. You can choose whatever you want. We're doing 7x10. We're going to do 100 pages. And then you go, we're doing no bleed. So then we do manuscript no bleed. And then it comes up with a template, and it will give you the dimensions of what we need to do. So it's important to have a look here. The dimensions suggest that there needs to be a 0.375 inch between here and what the available safe zone is. So I'm going to show you what is important, because when you design, you need to make sure there's no writing which is extending into this area here, or this area here, or this area here, or this area here. So when we design our template on Canva, we need to do that so that when we do load it up, we don't get that error message that you may sometimes get with KDP if you don't do it correctly. So let's go back to our Canva, and it will be loading up for us. And here it is here. So the first thing we needed to do is go to elements, and we need to, I want to make sure that I'm choosing the things that are free, because at the moment I'm going to be showing you how to use Canva for free. So what we need to do is click on, so you can do shapes. So if you don't have these line shapes, just click shapes. Then we get a box here, and we need to now, that it was 0.375. We want to make, see how there's a number just there? We want to make that 0.4. Then we know we're in the safe zone. So we put that over here. Then we can copy it and we drag it over here. Then we do the same, and we drag it. We're going to put it up in the middle here, and we're going to do the same for the bottom. Then we know that this is going to be our safe zone. So we could just do shapes. Then we get an outline that we're going to be using. Just here. Click on that. Let's just make it like that. And we're going to put it here. Oops. Put it here. Drag it across like this. Across to there. Across to there. Down to the bottom. And if you want to, you can just go to this box here and make it a bit more transparent. And we can get rid of these now. and that will be the area we need to remain in when we're doing all of our work. So again, you can make it sort of quite transparent if you want to, as long as you can see it, and we can create our first page if you like. So I'm going to quickly skip a couple of bits in a moment, just so I'm not having to waste your time. But let me do the first bit. So if we're creating that first introductory, so let's go back to this book again. We want to have a look at, I think it was the name. So this book belongs to. So let me create something like that for us. And I'm not going to take a huge amount of time with the creation side of things. It's more of an explanation of how it all works. So let's, for example, just use this one here. And we're going to use that font. Actually, it doesn't look great. So I'm going to get rid of that. Even though it's demonstration purposes, I don't like that. So I just got rid of that wrong thing, unfortunately. So I just bring it back here. And we can also go to here and we go, yep, it's sent to the back. So let's just go to our text again. Let's scroll up here. Let's add a heading. And what we need to do is choose, so this book belongs to, and we just need to bring the size in a little bit. Let's bring it up here. And all you need to do is start to make your designs are going to be right for you. So that's something that is like a personal choice, but all I'll do is I'll create something and we can just make it nice and simple. So all you need to do is get whatever elements you want. If you wanted the lines, the writing lines, for example, just write, you can do this. And again, it'll give you the option to create some writing lines. So you might choose, oh, that's the pro version. Sorry, I'll go back and just choose a free version. Okay, so I've just scrolled down. There's one here that's free. This is just under writing lines. And then you can create as you wish. So you just might want to drag that up, move it around, and just get into the position where you want to. So you can design what you want to do with that. Now the next thing you want to do is go add page. Then you can design, for example, you could go, and if you had a lead page where you might be offering things, you can do something like that. But all I want to do is skip through to this page here and show you how we could create something like that very, very quickly within around about maybe 15 minutes. So let's do that right now. Okay, so all we need to do is go back to elements. We'll go the shapes again, and we need to check, get that square box. And that one was just here. And then you can just position it as you want to. So we might want to, actually, before we do that, we need to go here and we need to copy, we need to paste. So we just know where our parameters are on this page as well. So we go move, oops, we want to send that to the back. Now we can actually move and manipulate this around so it suits what we want. So we just get that in position like that. Then if we have a look back at our original, remember we copy it exactly. We want to have a create our own, but this is all about showing you the methods behind how to do it. So I'll be fast forwarding in a moment to the creation, but I just want to show you the basic elements. So let's just do this box here with the 1, 2, 3. So we go back to here again. So just copy it. And we come down here, drag it down, and then you can add more text. So we just put number 1, for example, like that, and we can make it smaller. So if we want to make that a bit smaller like that, we can just go up here and make that say 20. So it's a bit smaller. Then just bring it up here we can make it even 25, and we just replicate it. So Control and just bring it down, and you just go back here. Okay, and we want to bring it across to the side, and we just center it again. So these lines will make it nice and perfect for us. We might actually move this one along, make this as well to the side, which is like that. And then we just simply bring this across, just like that, and it evens it out for us. Well, it doesn't seem too even, does it? That seems better. And we do number 3. Just like that. And then the lines, you can add them if you want to. So a little neat trick that I'll show you, just to make sure everything's nice and even. So you go Elements, then you go Ruler, and then what you actually do is grab one of these rulers, just like this. It might be a pro on those, there's definitely free ones around. And then all I want to do is do it like, so we just might need to make it a little bit bigger, and we drag this rule into place just like that. Then see how that dot is on that big one there, and we just bring it up a little bit just like that, and this one would go like that as well. So that just helps you. If you can't do the fine movements, you just need to increase the magnification of it, and that will help you get it in the right position. So that's just a little trick that you might like to use. And then you can keep creating your elements. Now, what I'll do, I'll pause it, I'll come up with a page, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so what I've done is I've created like a gratitude journal, and I'm see how these dots would be. It might be a bit risky potentially. We want to make sure that we're inside these lines here. So we would copy that, we would go back here, and we can paste it here just to make sure everything is inside. So we go there, we center the back, and then we can actually manipulate these so that everything is in the area we want. And that will make sure, so see how when we zoom down here, everything's in the lines, and we scroll down, I've made sure everything's in these lines here, and I've done like a second page, so just to give a bit of variety as well. So everything is in those lines, which is important that we do. Now you might be asking, how do we continue to replicate this? Well, if you go down to this bottom button here, you push this, and it'll end up coming up with these two. So all we need to do, if we want to keep them in the same order, we just right click, duplicate, and then that will bring up those two. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, right click, duplicate 4 pages. And then we keep doing that until we get to the desired pages. Now on Canva, it only permits you to do 100 pages. So that's the limitation with this model of doing it. But I will do 100 pages, and I'll pause it now, and I'll come back when the 100 pages is done. So I've done those pages. It actually goes up to 99 pages, and the very last page you could just add. So if we keep scrolling down, I just kept on duplicating all the pages, and I've just left it blank there. So you might want to have about the author or something like that in that last page as well. So when we've done that, we click that button down below again. This will bring us back to the starting position, which is just here. Now we've got our 100 page 7 by 10 inch manuscript ready to go. What we would then need to do is go download, and then we would go to our PDF just by clicking there, and we go down to PDF print, and we save it, and then that will be saved in a 7 by 10 inch. It's got all of our features here. Now the other thing I forgot to mention, if you didn't want that grey line running around the whole area, what you could easily do before you replicate all of it is just to delete that, and then you would then go through and you would just replicate all of your pages. So that's something, if you didn't want that grey line there, and that's your borderline, then you could easily do that and yeah, replicate them all as well. But that choice is up to you, what you want to do with that borderline. Sometimes it looks good as a feature, sometimes it's probably best not having it there at all. So let me just finalize with a couple of key points. So let me run through a few key tips that I'd like to pass on. Number one, I learned the hard way on quite a few books when I first started, but triple check your interiors to ensure there are no errors. It's so painful when you have uploaded your book to KDP and you have to detect an error and you have to adjust and re-upload. And it's even a worse area if you upload it to a platform, for example, like Ingram Spark, because there's about a $25 upload fee to adjust your manuscript. So get someone else to check it over if you need to as well. Let's go on to tip number 2. Check out other books for inspiration using the Look Inside feature of KDP, but never copy. It's a one-way ticket to get your account suspended or terminated, and they have their ways of looking at ways that you've copied other authors, and particularly if another author makes a complaint against you with your book, just make sure it's original. If you do purchase pre-made interiors, maybe just use a software like Adobe where you can actually adjust and add different features as well to your interior. So that's tip number 2. Let's look at key tip number 3. And that's to consider upgrading to Canva Pro. It was one of the best business decisions and investments that I ever made, just because the features and the options you have so much more. And if you're going to outsource, well, definitely don't upgrade, because you can use the amounts of your monthly subscription to be able to outsource using those funds for your business. But if you're into making covers or interiors yourself, then definitely consider it. And I'll provide the link again in the description notes, but it's just been such an amazing investment decision, and I reckon I've tripled my sales, or even tenfold my sales. It's a big number, because I upgraded. And so I do think that looking at different software that helps with your creation or your speed or those sorts of elements are really important when you're doing your low and no content books. And welcome to this lesson on book cover creation. There are so many important elements that you need to bring together for your book cover. You need to ensure that it stands out to the customer, that they can read, even on a small thumbnail, what your book is all about. It needs to be colourful and vibrant, and it really needs to stand out. Now, when you're doing your book cover creation, you need to ensure that the elements are legible for people to actually read. You need to make sure that your illustrations are clear, and that any headings that you have can be read by someone on a very small thumbnail if they're on their mobile device. Now, if you wanted to look deeper into book cover creation, because I won't be able to go into it too in depth in this class, but I do have a cover creation masterclass which is available, and I'll provide links to that course in the description below. But let me give you a quick tutorial on Canva on book cover creation, so you can go ahead and create your book covers that are ready for Amazon and are ready to be standing out to prospective customers. Once you're aware of your trim size, or the book cover size, we now need to go and create our custom design. So we're going to do a 7 by 10 inch cover. So we go custom design 7 by 10, and we need to make sure it's in inches. Let's do that again. 7 by 10, and create new design. We'll look at our front cover here, and then we can also do our back cover here as well. And what we're looking at doing is creating a single image for our book cover. I'm going to do a book about life skills for teens. So if I'm looking at the different elements, what I would generally do is go and have a look on probably on Amazon to see what book covers are standing out. So you need to do a bit of investigation to see what is working and what's not working. So to start with, you've got all your elements here. Now, if you go to elements and shapes and you might have different things you want to do, you can clear the recent ones and recent shapes, but you do have different photos that you can use within here and frames. Canva's so easy to use. It really is a great opportunity for you to use your design skills to create a book cover that's going to stand out. So we're going to go and let's do just normal shapes. So we go shapes here and let's do this. So it's a matter of just dragging elements around, and we might do color here. So this, and then we might go to text, and we can add a text box or use the heading here. So I might just use this here. Then what we do is drag it down. So if we think that that might be too big, I think it might be. So what we do is reduce that. I would change that there, and I might even choose a different font type. So if that's Canva Sans, I'm going to go this one here, and I might change that to white. So we go up here and we can just change that to white. If we wanted this to stand out a bit more, we go Effects and we can lift it. Then what we do is we can copy this again. Let's make this a bit smaller, and we might do it like that. We copy that, and I might do 14s. And then what we can also do is change this background to black, and then what we can do is bring this out a bit. That. Okay, so we can start by adding our text boxes and things like that as well. Now, if you wanted the background picture, you can go here. You can also go to design and you can do a bit of a search. So if you do life skills, you might have different things that come up like this. Now, with Canva, you're not allowed just to grab a cover and like this and then just use it. You need to change elements of it. So if we scroll down here, I might choose to have school or high school. We might scroll down here and have a little bit of a look and see if there's any elements here. So we might even choose this one, and then we go as new. Then we can actually use the background picture here, or we might like to use that writing. I don't really like that one, so what I do is delete that. I don't particularly like that background, so this one might be better. So we go here, we're going to add a new page. It's quite good writing, that one. It's quite clever. So we could almost copy that, or we might start by copying this, put that as the background, and let's see what this looks like as in life skills. That's actually not writing, so I really like that though. It'd be good if we could do that as a font type, but that's okay. So we go down here, we can even copy these elements here, place them on here like this, and you might like to put something else there. I'm still undecided with this one whether it's actually what I'm looking for. I'd like to find a background. Even this one might be better, or even this one here. I'm looking for backgrounds that will help me to get my book standing out, because I don't want to necessarily use the font type, but I'm looking for background images. This one could work. So we add new, and what we do is we can get rid of this actual background here. Then what we can do is get rid of these things that we don't want. Then what we can do is we can get from the top corner, we drag all of these, we copy them, and we'll try again. We copy them, and then we can paste them up here. And what we can do, we can go to these elements and we can layer them and center the back. So we probably don't need that one there. This one here could be moved. This one here could be moved. That one can be deleted. And you can see the background starting to come together. Maybe we'd like to have like a blue color in the background. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to get this one here, and I'll quite like this color, so I'm going to put it there. I like that little white bit there, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to send that backwards. I'll try that again. Let's go backwards one more time. Still going backwards. There. And then what you can do is start to bring in other elements for your book. It's about playing around with different sorts. So you might even like to change this up more. So we might like to change this so that it's more at the top. So what we can do is grab these, bring this up here. Actually, we might actually we might just drag. These two can be reduced in size. Bring this up here, drag that down, move that around. You can go like this. We can make this a little bit bigger. What you need to ensure you don't have too much writing that's close to this edge. We need to keep writing away from that edge, because what will end up happening when you upload your book, it'll end up being you'll end up having to change and modify your cover because the trim size is too, or the actual writing is going to be over the top of where they trim the book when they do that. So you just need to keep it away from that close edge. Bring it up here. You can see how I'm just moving things around. If things are too clunky, you can change them as well. You might want to get rid of all these ones altogether. And then you've got different things like that. Now, what else can we add? Well, we might want to add our name down the bottom. And we might like to keep it in a similar writing type. So let's use this one. Let's bring this down. Change the font color. That. And we might like to add another strip. So you could add this strip here. Went straight across. And we might want to make that white as well. If you don't like that, you can actually reduce this size, so you can bring this up like this. You don't want your name to be dominated in the cover too much. Unless you're a famous author, you could actually reduce this a bit more. So you can actually go position, center, this one, bring this in a little bit, center, and you've got that like that. You might want to change this around. You might want to make that a different color. You might want to move this slightly around, keep that away from too close to the edge, and then you can start to play around with these elements, use the design tools over the side here. There might be other ones that you can use that you think might be better for this background. So we might try another look and feel for our life skills book. So we could go up, go back this way, we could go high school. And what we're looking at doing is getting some inspiration from each of these book covers as well. So we keep going down, see if there's anything that we think we could probably make or use elements from to make it into a book cover. Keep coming down. If there's nothing there, that's okay. You can make it from scratch. But what I'd like to do is just have a look and see if there's anything of inspiration that I might be able to use for my book cover. Remember, you can't just grab a cover and just use it as it is. You need to make your amendments. So you've got our Life Skills for Teens book cover. Then what you can also do is you can grab an element as well. You can edit the image. You can change the screen colors. You can do duotones. There's also bits down here. You can add different apps. You can even do an image if you wanted to. So we could go here and we could use DALL-E, and then we have a student working at a school in a basic sketch form. And then let's generate, and we wait for this to happen. And you can add an image. I don't really like either of those images. They haven't come up very well at all. But I've created some previous images that I could use, like this one just here. So I can use that image in my book on the back cover if I wanted to, and I can change things around. I can change the background color, and I can go to white. I can make this and edit the photo, and I can actually, what I can do is go to background remover. Then this will actually get rid of the creamy sort of color that I had, and then I can blend that into the background as well. And then what you can do is to add your description information on the back cover of this book. Now, what do we do from here? Once we've made our back cover, we do need to keep a space down the bottom here for the barcode. So there's a barcode that will appear approximately in this space right here. So when you have a book, the barcode or the ISBN will appear at the back here. You need to keep this space clear. So just keep in mind that when you're doing the back cover, you need to have that there. Now, you can also add a description in the back here. You can add a photo if you wanted to, but this is where the description is going to go, and I'd probably reduce that to maybe 12, and you can start to add your description and information to the back here of your book, and you've got your book right here. So when we're doing this book and we need to convert this into a cover that we want to upload to Amazon KDP, what we need to do is we need to add a heading for each of these. So 5 skills front cover, and then we do this one, 5 skills back cover. Right, now we might just do 5 skills demo book. Then what we need to do is to download these two images in a PNG. So we do both images and then we click download. Then you'll see what I do with these images in a moment. So we've got to save these images and make sure you put these images into a file where you're going to remember where they are. So the next step is to get these images into a book cover that's going to be suitable for uploading. Now I'm going to show you the very efficient and quick way first. So I'm going to log into BookBolt, and I'm going to go to BookBolt Studio. So once I've logged in, I go up here and I go to BookBolt Studio, and I'm going to start a brand new project. So I go brand new project. We're going to go just the paperback cover. We're going to call it Life Skills Demo Book. We are doing a 7 by 10 inch. We are doing black and white interior with white paper, and let's just call this a 100-page book. So we create project, wait for this to load up. Then what I want to do is to upload my images. So I need to upload an image. So once those images are uploaded, I'll click on there. The book will then, or the book cover will then go to BookBolt Studio straight in this alignment here. What we want to do is to stretch this so it goes to the edges. The edges there, and then we drag that down so the pink is covered, and we can't see any sort of pink in this up to this line right here. So that's how the book cover will be. Now, if you have any writing over this green line, your book cover will be rejected. You need to ensure that no writing is over that green line that runs around. Now for the back cover, what we need to do is go to images, we go here, and we put our back cover on here. We are going to do the same process. So we stretch it to those lines there, drag it down. We need to make sure the ISBN has space there. You don't need to keep that blank, that color there. That should be blank. I'm just using it as an example where the ISBN is going to go. And for the back, what we need to do is go to this color here, and you can change this color to what color you want. So if we use this little pipette and we hold it over here and we go to that blue color and we go OK, then what will happen is if we go to the cover template, which is the background, it actually changes to that blue color there. So we actually don't need the template now that we've got everything in place, although you can see pink down here. So we want to make sure we're stretching this cover so that there's no pink of that template around to there. And then what we can do is get rid of that transparency, and that's what the cover is going to be like. It's so easy on a Bolt Studio. All we need to now do is go download, and we need to actually go to this one, download current page, CMYK printed books. That's what we want to do. So we click on that one, and we wait for this document now to go. So there's 191 in queue, however, it'll move quite quickly. So I'll just pause this video until it's ready to go. And my cover has now downloaded. So if we go to here, we can click here, and my book cover is right. Now you can see how there's a little bit of blue at the top here. I would recommend going back and just stretching the cover a bit more to ensure that that's not there. You might just want to have that white border, so we haven't quite stretched it enough. If you wanted to go back, we can go OK, and you can see on here we haven't stretched enough, so that would be where we wanted to, and then you go and save it again. So that's the quick process of using BookBolt to format your book cover. It will save a significant amount of time and effort and rejections if you don't do it this way. But I'll quickly show you the long way using Canva if that's what your preference is, rather than buying or purchasing BookBolt Studio on that monthly subscription to do that. First step we need to do is to go to the binding type. So KDP Cover Calculator. I'll leave this in the description below, this link. So all you need to do is select, we're going to do paperback, interior type we're using black and white, paper type we might use cream paper for this one, page turn direction we do left to right, measurement units we're just doing ours in inches, interior trim size we have got a 7x10, and we have 100 pages. So I'm replicating what I did with BookBolt. Now what we need to do is calculate the dimensions. You can see that, and what we now need to do is see these measurements here. This is what we need to use to start with. So 14.5. So we go here, and we're going to create a new design, and we go custom design, and we make sure it's in inches. 14.25, and we create new design. And now what we need to do is we now need to go and make sure that we get the template for this as well. So I'm just going to move this. So we go here. I want to download the template. Therefore, I can use this. So I want to double click there. And what I'm going to do is a screenshot of this. So when I go back to Canva, I can actually put this template on here and stretch it across. Therefore, I've got the background template to know exactly where I need everything to go. So I can stretch this now. Just bring this in a little bit. It should be right on those pink lines. You can see why BookBolt is just so much quicker than doing this, but I want to make sure I show you this way as well. So we do that, and we stretch it all the way down. And what we do is position this in the center. And there's a little bit here, we just stretch that. Or what we can do, we might have gone a little bit closer to the other one, we can just stretch it a tad. So there we have our template. And we can put the transparency of this template right down if we wanted to. What we now need to do is to upload our two images. So we upload our images, which I've got here. So I grab that one and move that across here. And I need to bring this back in so I can see what's happening. And I need to stretch this all the way down to there and just down to there. So we don't want to make that same mistake we did earlier. And the back cover, do the same thing again. Let's go to the corner here. You can see the barcode where that needs to go. So we stretch it all the way down. got our background. So what we now need to do is get rid of that template. So we get rid of the template altogether. If we want the background color, we can go to background and we can use our pipette. So we click there and use the pipette and we get that color, and now it's going to be the spine color as well. Then we can save it as in our life skills demo book V2 cover, and then what we can do is we go share and then we go download, and then what we want to do is go to this one, best for printing. So we click there, and what we want to do is, this is under, it's a little crown there, that's when you've got Canva Pro. So I have got Canva Pro, so I'm going to use that one. That's the best quality one, so when you upload your book to KDP, the quality of it's going to be much better. That's why I encourage you to take a Canva Pro account out, rather than just the free version. So we wait for this to load up, and then this will provide us again with the PDF version, and we can have a look at this cover, and you can see the cover is the same again, same format as our original one, and therefore we can load this up to Amazon KDP when it asks for the book cover or to be uploaded. So there we have it. That's a 25-minute lesson on book cover creation. I did go through it very, very quickly. There is so much more in depth that I've provided with my my masterclass course on book cover creation. So many different things about the elements you need to consider, what things you need to look at when you're creating your cover. This was just a very, very fast process to show you how to use a bit of Canva, how to put your cover together and format it, ready to go. And you can use BookBolt Studio for your hardcover as well. And you can also use the same process when you're doing your hardcover if using it for Canva. But there's a slight few different changes you need to consider when you're doing your hardcover. And it's a bit, the cover tools that you use are important to use the right way. And I just think hardcover creation with BookBolt is much, much easier than using Canva. But that's just my recommendation. So hopefully this lesson has helped you out. I want to use this lesson to talk about outsourcing your book cover design, because we're not all designers and you are going to be judged by your book cover. If it's an unprofessional looking book cover, you can seriously just forget about making any sales, because as a customer, I don't click on any books where I don't like the cover. And if it looks unprofessional, the reviews aren't there, you just won't get people clicking on your book to buy your book. Therefore, it won't jump into the algorithm of Amazon and it will just die a slow death. So book cover design is just so critical. Now, I would recommend that you do outsource if you have no design skills. It can be something that can be acquired over time. And if you are on a budget, you might like to try your own design to begin with, but just remember that you need to get some honest feedback from people that are prepared to give you feedback and not just say, oh yeah, look, it looks great, whereas behind the scenes I don't actually like it. So let's look at 99 Designs. That is my recommended book cover design group that have helped me out. Or you can go to Fiverr, which can be hit and miss. But let me jump onto 99 Designs to begin with and should show you how easy the process would be if you want to get your book cover outsourced and get that as a outsourced project for your book publishing. So I'm on 99 Designs. I'll leave the link in the description below, so it's nice and easy for you to get to. But all you need to do is type in that, then go get a design. This will then bring you to a page that provides details about custom book cover design itself. So you can see the details here. You can see the quality of book covers that you can get. All you need to do is see how it works, and it'll show you the information that you go through here. Get dozens of book cover designs, and you can pick your favorite. You set it up as a bit of a competition, and you then can see all the book cover design contests are going through. Just some of the designs are unbelievable, and you do get different packages based on what you want. This might be your third or fourth book you create and you're prepared to spend money. This is in Australian dollars, so that might be around about $320 roughly, just a rough calculation. But they do some brilliant designs. There's plenty of questions that FAQs that you can go through and look at. But it is such an amazing tool to use to get your book cover design, and they'll do that formatting for you and get it exactly as you want. You can see the number of entries that some of these book cover designs do have: 75 entries, 40 entries, 48 entries. So you pick the one that you would like, and then that person provides all the file types for you. Now, if we were to jump onto Fiverr as another option for you, you can almost think about this as you get what you pay for. So if we go book cover design, you can see the book covers here. You can do a relevance, so you can go best-selling designers, and you can do Fiverr's choice, so you can see on what is delivered quickly, the quality of them. My advice would be to click on the book cover or even go and have a look at some of the work that they've previously done. So let's pick one. Let's go to Shoaib. So he's got book covers at $48 Australian dollars. He's had 5 reviews from 4 people. He's a level 2 designer. Let's have a look and see. So you can do the basic, standard, or premium. So this is 2 design concepts, includes a source file, 3D mockup. This one, back and spine designs. So you want to probably get one that you're going to be happy with. Have a look at the different designs. They need to be unique. They need to be one that you're going to be happy with. And it's important that you actually get the cover that you've requested. If you have this one, at least you got 4 design concepts, back on spine designs, jacket cover, source files, 3D mockup, and audio book cover. So that would be for more of a high content book. But I can leave a link in the description to a book cover design. This might be one that you use with Shoaib. He looks like he's creating some good work, but scroll down, look for any reviews. You can see the projects that have been completed. You can see the packages that are available, select those, and you can see the reviews down here as well. 5 stars, outstanding. So this might be a really good one to have a look as well. But I'll leave the link in the description below to this designer. I've never used this designer personally, so I don't know their quality, but at least you'll get a bit of an idea about what to look for. So Fiverr.com is another good opportunity to outsource your book cover design. Just take your time to get the right one, because people do judge a book by its cover. Welcome to writing your book description. Now, your book description can appear on the front page or section when your book is live on Amazon KDP, but you might also like to include that book description on the back cover of your book. So the writing of your book description is really important, and there's some key areas that I want to cover off so you're aware of the importance of that. But right at the end of this lesson, there's an important component about formatting your book description using a free tool by Kindlepreneur. So make sure you hang around. There's also some links in the description below that will help you with your formatting of your book and a free resource. So the format of your book description should include a strong heading, key product features of the book, strong headings that actually outline and show customers what they're about to read about. At the end, they're going to have a call to action, and then very importantly, must be grammar error free. And I actually use Grammarly.com. I started with the free version of Grammarly, and then when I started to generate income, I then upgraded to the pro version. There's a lot more features that are available, but the free version is fine. But you'll see a link in the description for Grammarly if it's something you think would help you. And even though English is my first spoken language, I really found it helpful because there are things that I just didn't pick up when I was reading over my description a few times. I'm going to actually show you a book description I've created, and I'm going to use the theme of like an educational resource for letter tracing for children. And let me just show you some of the key points that I've done. And I've used these strong formatting features to make sure it stands out to the customer. So let me go to that the version that I've created as an example for you. So this is the key tips that I've used within this description. So I've created a headline that captures the attention of the customer. I've included key product features. I've included headings at dot points. I've also included the call to action. And as I mentioned, I've used Grammarly as well that has checked over for errors. And I'll show you how I've actually used Grammarly as well. So as an example, so the title, My First Learn to Write Colour Activity Book, and the subtitle I've used is A Workbook for Kids to Practice Pen Control, Line Tracing, Letters, Shapes and More. And in brackets it's Kids Colour Activity Book. Description. Here we go. Give your child the best possible start to school and improve their communication skills with the ultimate writing activity book for ages 3 to 5. So that's my heading. That's what I want to capture the attention of the reader. And is that going to solve their problem for their youngest child who's 4 years old and is looking to improve their writing or communication skills? My First Learn to Write Colour Activity Workbook is the perfect resource that has been specifically designed to build the confidence of the child with the development of pen control as they progress through each level. So now I've gone into the different levels that I've got within the book and how it actually highlights some of the key features of the book. So it's got lines and shapes. This section is all about building the confidence and enjoyment of the child through interactive activities including straight and curved lines and shape information. So level 2, another heading, letter development. This section introduces the child to capital and lowercase letters through the use of colourful pictures. With ample space for the repetition of each letter, the activities provide the child with the foundation to learn each letter and use the correct writing formation. And final heading just here, level 3, word development. In this section, the child can use the skills developed from the previous section to begin to write familiar words by tracing over the provided letters. This will continue to build confidence with the use of commonly known words. So then I do a summary of what the book provides for those who are going to buy it. Full colour pages that provide fun and interactive activities. Activities that build kids' confidence and writing muscles through the use of fine motor skills. Repetition of activities that will help boost reading and writing comprehension. They get a bonus, which is a colour completion certificate. It's in a large 8.5 by 11 inch book, providing ample writing space and gloss cover for improved durability. Now this is where I've got the call of action right down below. Give your child the best start to reading and writing with My First Learn to Write Colour Activity Book today. And you could also have scroll up and click the buy button now. That could be one extra thing you might want to include. So I've tried to include these key tips. I've got the key heading, which is just here. I've got the key product features, which is just down here. I've included headings and dot points down here. And I've got the call to action as well. And I've also used Grammarly. So if I use Grammarly, when I open it up, I click here. And then what I do, it actually starts to, so you can add the app to your Word document, and then you can actually see whether, these are different things that you might want to include. So so this one, add a comma. So you can remove different things as well, and you can go down, you can make sure, so sometimes Grammarly picks up things that should be changed, sometimes it picks up things that shouldn't be changed. So these are the kind of things that Grammarly really helps with, particularly if you've got different words that it suggests, which really improve the formatting of your book. As I said, such an important thing that you need to get this right. So that's an example how I would use my format to create the description for customers when they're going through. So let's have one quick look through Amazon to check other descriptions to see if they're meeting this criteria for some of the better sellers. All right, so let's look at one of these handwriting books. So let's go to this one and let's see if they used a couple of those things. So they've got their main heading, Silly Sentences Handwriting Practice Book for Kids. Then they got the Silly Sentences Workbook for Kids will take kids through the basic strokes to practice their print handwriting with a whole lot of fun thrown in too. This book includes individual letter practicing along with silly sentences to keep them laughing and learning. Handwriting practice will be a breeze when they get to the trivia section filled with decoding, unscrambling, and word search activities. Then they've got the different product features and the dot points as well. So they've used that kind of information. Let's go back as well. Let's scroll down a few, see if there's any other ones that are selling well. So if we go to this one just here, 708. So I've used this, I might have used this previously as an example. So we've got a really strong heading and they've used the right formatting. Then they've got their dot points as well. And then they've got the outline of what's included in the book. And then they've got their call to action, buy today to help your child take their first step confidently into the fun world of cursive writing. So they've used the structure that I use for my books as well, and it's a bestseller too. So that's some of the information in regards to helping you create your book descriptions that stand out to customers, and such an important element to get right. And remember, get the grammar and spelling and the structure sentence right as well, so that it reads really well for the customer. And before we finish off the lesson, I wanted to include a part where we actually need to format that book description correctly, so when we upload it to Amazon KDP, it actually shows up really well. I'll give you an example. So if we go to my book, you can see how I've got this nice and bold, then I've got the normal font type. Then if we go here, we've also got these so dot points, product features, and we've got heading in bold here, heading in bold there. So how do we get it so it works like that? Because you can actually do it when you upload your book to Amazon KDP. The new feature allows you to do that. But sometimes it's best to use a generator to help create this for you. So let's go to an example. So I've got this description right here, and what I want to do is actually use that in a proper format. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go to something called Kindlepreneur Book Description Generator, and I'll provide a link in the description below. So all you need to do, once you get there, you need to click on Amazon Book Description, and we're going to paste our information here, and we just go OK. And what we need to do is go up anything we want bigger, so we go there. And what we need to do is to go into H4. That'll give you more of a heading. You can see it changes around. We can also make it bold. Then this bit here, we can highlight down, and we can just make that normal. And we can highlight and bold these. So we can go bold. We can go bold with those. You might want to bold those too. So we go through the whole document and format it the way we want. Bold, we can do italics if you want to. Now if this didn't have these here, if this was just purely our lines that we wanted to actually bullet point, we can keep going down here. Then what we need to do is highlight the whole lot. Just here, and we can go a numbered list or a bullet list, and that will bullet them for us. Then we might want to bold this as well, so we bold that. So once you finish, you can click here to see if AI can improve it. So you can actually get AI to improve it if you wanted to, but I'm not going to, so I just want to make sure this is H4, which is the heading font size. And then what we go is generate my code. So you can then copy this code here, and you can paste that in when Amazon asks you to include your book description. You can copy and paste that in there. That's a great way of doing it. Now, if we were to go back here and were to find out if AI can create this description even better, let's see what it comes up with. And now AI has recreated the description for me, and it'll show you on the left-hand side if what you want is going to be more suitable for you. So you can copy all this, paste it, and reformat it. It's interesting whether AI makes it give you a better AI description or a description or not, but the choice is up to you. So I'm going to keep my original one. So what I would do is go back here, and I would go down, and I will copy the actual HTML format. You can see that right there, and that will be pasted in to my book description when I'm uploading my book. So that is an opportunity for you to look into that. I will provide this link in the description below so you can use that if you feel that's going to be best for you. And welcome to this lesson about category selection for KDP Upload. There's a lot to digest about categories, but I want to break it down into some key things for consideration, but then I'm actually going to direct you to an article via a link below that will go into a significant amount of depth regarding category selection. Now, there are some key tips that I want to provide you before you read this article. Number one, you can choose your categories when uploading to KDP. So it'll actually give you a box that you can go and choose your categories, which will help ensure that you're in the right categories and you're not putting your book into categories that aren't relevant. So that's point number two. Do not put your books into irrelevant categories to try and game the system, to try and get a bestsellers tag. If your book is about life skills, but you put it in mathematics for primary school kids, then that's not going to work. You need to ensure that your book is in a relevant category. And finally, use Publisher Rocket for category selection. Previously, you used to be able to use some other tools to get category selection, but Amazon have recently changed their category selection, so it's not as simple as doing that now. Let me show you how you can choose categories in Publisher Rocket, and I'll also refer you to the article where you can read some more. I'm now on Publisher Rocket, and you've got your different tiles here you can choose from. We're going to go to category search. We wait for the category to open up, and then you can see all the different categories that are offered by Amazon. So if we're looking for our life skills book, we can go to teens and we go check it out. This will then give us all the different books that are in the teen section. So we might go down to, let's have a look. We might go to choosing the right one. I want to pick even personal health. So we can go and click on this one or that one there. We can check out the keywords and also the insights. So this will actually say that the trend is going down per month. So it's maybe not a great one we want to get into. We actually want to get a trend that's going up. So if we go to social issues, this will actually take us to the category, and you can actually see that this book right here is on teen and young adult self-esteem, being a teen, and parenting teenagers. So you'd write those down as different categories for you to look into. So bestsellers in teen and young adult social issues. So that would be a good one to get into because we know it's relevant. So we go back to Publisher Rocket again. So we'd probably want to go onto that one. Let's have a look at the insights. It's got a little bit of a drop, but overall it's fairly consistent. So what you do is go and check out the relative categories. I'll just go back there again and show you. So we go down to, we'll just get that again, social issues. So we go to insights, and where it said see related categories, click there, and then this will be the one. So you can select this category when you're uploading your book to Amazon KDP. So you can copy that, that's selectable. If there's a duplicate, it means that there's another category that it's a suitable category and selectable, but I would normally go into ones that aren't duplicates. So you can see the duplicates right here and the selectable ones. So that's what you need to do. Copy the thread like this, like that, and then paste it into a document. So therefore, when you do go to upload your book, you're very well aware of the categories that you want to put your book into, and you can choose 3 categories. Now let me take you to the reference document that I think you'll find interesting as well to get more details about this category selection for Amazon KDP. Now I'll leave the link below for you to check this out, but the article is very, very comprehensive, and it will give you all information about how to find the Amazon book categories, the old way, the new way, choosing them wisely. There's the talking about the duplicates. We're talking about ghost categories. We're talking about categories that you can be in and how many you can choose. So you can see 3 categories, but Amazon makes no guarantees you'll be placed in those categories. It's a great article. I highly recommend that you have a read of it. So I'll leave that link in the link below, free article to read. And then if you think that getting publisher rockets once you want to, then you can easily purchase it from this page as well. So hopefully that helps on selecting the right categories. It is though Amazon try and make it more confusing than what it should be, but hopefully you can check and select the right categories for your book. Welcome to the next lesson, and it's a really exciting one because this is when we formally load our book and get it ready for upload to KDP. So when we go to our dashboard, this is what we're going to see. But before I would start the upload process, I'd get everything organized. And what I mean is creating a Word document with all the details. So let me show you what I have prepared. Before I upload any book to KDP, I create a Word document. It has the title, it has a subtitle, has a description, which I then have converted into that HTML code using Kindlepreneur. This just really helps when we're uploading the book, and we can just easily copy this information and put it into the KDP upload process. So let me go through the upload process right now. So as I mentioned, the first thing we need to do is to sign into our KDP dashboard, and we simply click on paperback. This will then take us through to the dashboard with 3 sections we need to complete, and it is a nice easy process to follow. Depending on what language your book's in, we're going to be choosing English. The book is Composition Notebook. And our subtitle, so if we go between these, we just copy that and bring it into our section. That's where I mean it's nice and easy. The series, if it's a series of different books, then you add that, otherwise you just leave it. The edition number, again, I generally just leave that. The author name, now you can create whatever author, if you have a certain brand that you want to create, then you can do that. You can put your own name and details on there. You can have a brand name. You can call it something, that might be specific to that area. Just make sure you're not doing anything which is going to infringe on any trademarks or anything like that. So let me just come up with a quick name. So we can just call it, we'll call it Modern Dino Modern Dino Designs. Let's just call it that. And then we go down further. And remember, I like, once you start creating a brand, then it's good to have consistency. You don't want to have all these different author names. It's better just to have the one main author name. So you could do whatever you like with that section. Contributors, so if you have an illustrator or someone else that was part of the book creation, you'd add their details here. The description, so you can use the formatting that KDP now provide, or you can use the one that you created from Kindlepreneur, which we're going to use in this module. So I add that. Then I go down, do I own the publishing rights? So I own the copyright and hold the necessary publishing rights. Yes. When it says this is a public domain work, it means that there might be something online that you've found, a book or contents that's freely available online. But I would never suggest you do that kind of book. Just make it all your own, and therefore you have all the copyright and necessary publishing rights. The keywords, so I will now add these keywords in. So I'd go through and simply add those keywords that are relevant for my book. And you add the 7. Now you don't have to add 7 keywords. You can add 3 or 4. But given that you've got 7 spaces, you might as well add those keywords in, because every keyword hopefully will help your book rank better on the KDP platform. So I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure doing, here we go, 2 more to go. They don't have to make sense, the keywords. They can be different combinations of words. So I always just like to have a few different sort of variations of it. Does this book contain language inappropriate for children under 18 years? Definitely not. Save and continue. Then we go on to the next step, which is the ISBN. So each book has an identification number, and KDP offer you a free one. Now you can go and buy your own ISBN, and if you buy them in bulk, it's about $5 per ISBN for about 100. But if you buy them individually, it can be anywhere up to about $70. So if you're new to KDP or you don't have a major brand, then definitely just use the free ISBN. So it can only be used with KDP. You can't use it on any other platform. I just leave the publication date as being live as soon as Amazon approve it. We're now using the black and white with white paper, so we leave that. You can choose different options, and it gives you the color variations. We're leaving it there. Now we get to choose the different, here we go. We get to choose the different sizes. Now you can set up your own trim size, but use the standard sizes if you can. These are the most popular. We're using this one just here for the book that we created. Now, remember when we did the book bolt download for the manuscript, we use bleed. So we're ticking that one. You can use no bleed depending on what you do. I always like to use, for books that are used a lot, I like to use gloss just because it's more durable. Matte has a really nice finish to it, but it can leave fingerprints and things. So if you're using a composition notebook for kids, I would use gloss. The manuscript. So this is where we need to upload our manuscript that we were saving before. So I click upload, and this is where our files are. So we've got our 8.5, 120 page bleed manuscript. So we open that one up and we can wait for a little bit. Then it will say it's processing our file. This button now, you can either use Cover Creator, which is a KDP way that you can actually create a cover with KDP. I choose Upload Our Cover. That's the one we made from Canva. And I prefer the process of Canva. It just has I feel it's much easier to create and has a really good professional look. So we upload our cover, and remember, it is in a PDF format. We open that up, and it can take a little bit of time for this process to upload. And you'll see in a moment that it saves successful. However, and it says launch previewer, but wait until the file has been processed and you actually can see your cover appear here. If you click launch preview too early, it can take much longer. So just be patient and wait for your cover to appear here, and it will say that it's been successfully loaded just here. So I'll just pause the video until that appears. And so the book cover has now been created for us, and we just scroll down further and we can launch our previewer. Now this will give us an indication of the book and making sure it complies with what Amazon require. Now on the side here, it does a quality check. If you have errors, it will say there are errors here. Now as you can see, there's a red line that runs around. It's very, very close to that yellow border that I mentioned during the setup process, that you need to make sure that you keep your writing inside those lines. So anything like name or these sort of things need to be in there. The illustrations are fine. They can be outside, and that's part of the bleed process, and making sure that that's inside there as well. So I would check for any spelling or things like that. I've got the right size, the right pages, name goes there. Now it's going to be hard for a child to just realize to create their name with a dark color just here. So that's something you could potentially think about, and whether you need to change it or not. It's something that I have just thought about now, and what I would probably do is go back and adjust the color so that we can do it here. So I might very quickly do that so that we've got a color that works better, or I might even have a white space here so kids can write their name. So let me just quickly do that. So because I don't approve it, I'm going to exit and I'm going to go and fix it and then come back. So I've re-uploaded the new cover, and it's ready to go. So launch preview again, and I just need to check to make sure that everything is okay. So it goes through the process of showing me for any faults. So it's done its quality check. The new cover or the adjusted cover, I just added this section down here so a child could add their name, just a little bit of a background of dinosaurs, and then you go through the manuscript to make sure that everything is okay. And this is just a no content journal, so there's nothing really I need to be worried about as I go through it. And you would, and if you wanted to right at the end, you can always add, right at the back page, you can add information about the author. But this is just a quick tutorial about how to do the upload process. So we approve, and then just wait for it to go through to the next section, which is now going to be about the pricing. So we go down. This is the printing cost. So it's going to cost $2.29 for the book to be printed for this size and for the length of the book. So you need to consider that. And as we go to the pricing, it will factor that in. So let's have a look at the next section. So now, do we want to have it go across all states or all territories? Yes, we might as well distribute it globally. We don't want to exclude any, so we've got to give it every opportunity. The primary marketplace, you can choose wherever you want to. Depending on where I'm marketing it mostly, I'll just leave it at .com. Now, this is where it says the minimum price we need to list it for and the maximum. We're certainly not going to be going anywhere near there. So for a book like this, let's just do $6.99. It factors in the printing cost, the rate to the author or the creator of 60%, provides me with a royalty of $1.90. Expanded distribution, you can tick this box if you want your book to be expanded further beyond Amazon to bookstores and things like that. So if you like to, you're welcome to tick that and you'd get a $1.50 royalty. And then this will convert it to the different countries and their conversion rates. So you can change this again. You would get it, so you might want to do that at $5.99 pound. And then the same here, you might want to bring that back to $5.99. Probably is better than $6.01. So I'd go through the process of just doing this. Takes a little bit of just fiddling around. Go through here. Do $5.99. I just leave the Japanese yen. In Canada, so I'd probably go for, it's $2.16. You could probably, I might do $7.99 on that one. And Australia, you need to allow for what they call GST, and so that's going to be the final price. So we probably want that under $10. So if we go to $8.99, that will bring it to, so we could probably go $9.07 or $9.08, I mean. And that's where it is. Okay, so we're going to sit at $9.99. It's only 70 cents Australian, but that's okay. Australia's not a big market. So once we've set our prices, we then go down and we publish our book. Once we publish, then it goes to Amazon and expect to hear back from them in a roughly 3 to 7 business days. And then when you get that notification on your email, then it will be approved. So what they do now is they check for details to make sure it meets all of the guidelines, and it can take up to 72 hours, but I've seen it pushed out to 7 days, depending on the time of the year. And then we close and we are all good to go. So that is the upload process for KDP and going through the step-by-step. And one thing I forgot to mention, it has in review just here. And when it goes live, that'll change to being live. It's got the pricing here, and if you wanted to, you could add a hardcover of the book as well. I wanted to use this opportunity to provide you with some things that you should avoid when publishing with Amazon KDP. Some of the other things you might be able to get from other platforms like YouTube, but for these lessons, I can lean on my experience of over 4 years of publishing. Therefore, they're going to be tips that you can really use moving forward with your publishing. So firstly, I would always ensure that when you create a book, you really focus on that quality element of your books. So for many people, I find that they rush into the design elements, they don't create a great cover, they are keen on creating too many no content books like blank journals or line journals and getting them out there. It's okay to start with 3 or 4 of those to get used to the process, but don't just make those and just continue to fire them off. You need to slow down, focus on the quality, and even expand into other books like mid-content books, like children's books, even high-content books. That's something that you definitely have the capacity to do as you learn the process. The next tip that I think that you should avoid is thinking that Amazon will do the marketing for you. They are there to sell books. They're not there to provide free advertising for you. They might give you a little bit of an advantage when you upload your book, but it only lasts a couple of days. You need to proactively market your books as well as you can. And the best method, I believe, is Amazon advertising, because it's the location where Amazon customers are. They're looking for books just like yours, and if your book can be marketed and put in front of them, then you've got a much better opportunity of being able to get that sale. The only problem is people, when they do their marketing, probably have a budget that's too high. I think you should reduce it to maybe $100 for the first month and just to test the waters. But in saying that, if you have a low budget, people tend to have low CPCs, which is that click rate or the cost per keyword for your the main keywords you're trying to advertise for. If you start too low, I just tend to find that you don't get a lot of traction early on. So you need to maybe put the bid up and then reduce it rather than go low and go high. You need to start at the highest level and then reduce your bids as you start to optimize your campaigns. The next thing is, I think you should work hard at your descriptions, because it's one of those situations where a customer needs to find your book cover attractive to click on it. You then might have to pay for that click through Amazon advertising. Next main thing is that they want to see that the manuscript through the look inside is going to be suitable for what they want. And then finally, it's the book description. So you spend a bit of time to get that book description right. If it sounds unprofessional, people and customers are just not going to buy your book, and they might move to another book, a competitor book. The final thing in that sort of whole space is the social proof. So getting reviews. If you can get as many reviews as you can and sales as you can, as quickly as you can, that will certainly help. Because when you get those reviews, it just provides that social proof for people that want to buy your book. And it might mean that you have to, over time, develop a launch team. And I've got other courses that I have about the best way to launch your book. There's multiple courses I do have that you can check out, but that one in particular, launching your book, that goes into critical details about the steps that you need to take. You can go and download that free resource on my website, which is the basics of launching a book. That's a good starting point, but if you really want to go into depth about it, just make sure you check out that course of mine. And one final thing when we're looking at what we should avoid, it is expecting the lure of financial success too quickly. You need to plan out your books. You need to try and get into the right niches. And niche research does provide its own unique challenges, because people start to think that there's no high need, low competition niches. They're still out there. You just got to hunt down and use the right tools and software to allocate or find them. Don't just skim across the surface and go to colouring books for Christmas time or colouring books for Valentine's Day. They are saturated. You need to go to another 3 levels down to try and find those profitable niches. So that's one mistake people make, is that they try and go to a niche that's too competitive. So they would be some of the tips that I would give you and things that I would avoid when you're first publishing with Amazon. And just make sure you protect your account. You get one account. You do not want to compromise that. That account could be with you for 25 years if you look after it. And the ongoing opportunity for passive income is enormous if you look after your account and do all the right things. So do not cut corners in your publishing to try and get ahead quicker, because it'll hurt you in the long term. So make sure you look after your account. Hopefully these different tips help, and we'll get on to the final couple of lessons. Wow, this is an important lesson, because if you don't start putting things into action, nothing's going to happen, and all the information and knowledge you've been learning will be put in the bin and ready for collection. So make sure you take action. I want you, as a minimum, to purchase the software outlined in section 2. It might be one piece of software. It might be KDSPY, Publisher, Rocket, and Canva to get you started. Make sure you do that. Then conduct your niche research. Find out what niche is going to be great for you to start publishing in. It could take you the next few days, and that's okay. That time is important to process, get to know what niches you should be looking into, and then once you've got a niche, really try and focus on publishing in that and mastering that particular area. Finally, create your Amazon KDP account. Just get that started. At least you know that when you start going through the process, all that is ready to go, and all you need to do is upload your book, and then you've got all your account details set up, payment structures all set up, everything's there, taxation information all set to go. So as a minimum, do these 3 things. If you haven't paused the video at all throughout the whole time, just do it. If you don't, then I'm telling you that nothing's going to happen from here. And all this time watching all this content might just be a complete waste. As I said, I want you to succeed, but I can't hold your hand any more than what I'm doing right now. You just need to take action yourself. And if you've been someone that's procrastinated previously, just use this opportunity to change your ways, to change how you've normally responded during a course. Let's start it. Let's get into action. And as a minimum, do these 3 things. And as we near the conclusion of this course, I wanted to say thank you so much for enrolling and becoming a student. There are plenty of areas of publishing which you can become an expert at. And if you want to look more deeper at a particular area that you want to become a master at, you might be interested in my other courses, whether that be book cover design, Amazon advertising, launching your book, Ingram Spark and going onto other platforms, publishing a children's book and the different intricacies involved with that. There are a lot of different moving parts. However, if you create a great book with a positive impact on customers, and you can scale that book globally, you can develop a fantastic passive income. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this course. Thanks again for your support. Make sure you check out the resources that I've made available for this course, and all the very best wherever your publishing journey may take you. So until next time, goodbye. If you'd like to learn more about self-publishing, just make sure you visit my website, globalselfpublishing.com. And on this website, you'll find a ton of free resources. So if you scroll down on the first page, you'll see an introduction to the website. You'll also get to see some of the courses and content that I've created for you. If you go all the way up to the top here, you can actually also go to the different resources that you can download for free. So here's a number of resources that you can see straight away. Also, if you go to self-publishing courses, you can see that I've also got my premium self-publishing course on publishing children's book. I've also got free access to my 2-hour KDP Fast Track course. Take a look at the preview for that. And then further down, you'll see the other courses that are available, plus a sign up if you want to access all those courses for just $19 per month. And then finally, I've got software and tools. This provides an outline of the tools that I use for my publishing, and it's a great opportunity to see what I use. I don't use a lot of software programs, but the ones that I do use are the ones that have helped me significantly to elevate my publishing for the last 5 years. So thanks again. Remember to visit globalselfpublishing.com, and all the resources that you need are just in one place.